This is Kickin' and Streamin' Podcast.
As per every week, we are going into a section of the show that we have been integrating, and I think our viewers like. It is time for me to ask you, Jojo, what have you been watching this week? What are you watching, Jojo?
I actually watched on HBO Max Nightmare Alley as part of the build up to the Oscars. It is
Yes.
nominated for Best Picture. So I did watch that one, and I also watched the 1947 version, and I read the synopsis of the novel.
Uh-huh.
So I nerded out a little bit on this one because I was interested. I was interested as to why Guillermo del Toro decided to remake this movie, even though he doesn't call it a remake of the 47 movie. He's calling it a readaptation of the novel. But I was curious as to what had led him to do this because this is a very different kind of story. And it's an interesting path that led him to make it. And the movie itself, of course, is the production values are unbelievable. I mean, it's the kind of thing where you're just watching with your jaw hanging open for some of the scenes. But it's a very, very good movie. The 47 version has some almost a little bit more nastiness to it in terms of psychological nastiness, if you
Uh-huh.
will. The one that's up for an Oscar, Nightmare Alley, is very violent and very gory, which you don't have in the 47. But the 47 one, I almost felt had a little bit more of a psychological turn to it that I was surprised by. But yeah, that's what I've been watching. I watched those two movies and read about the novel.
Funny you should say that, Jojo, because this is one of the movies that I was attempting to go for this weekend
Yeah.
because it was going to be either that one or Tick Tick Boom, and I'm not quite ready to watch Tick Tick Boom. So, because I'm curious to see the work of Guillermo del Toro on this one, I'm like, in the quest for the Oscar nominated movies. So, this is one that I very much have in mind.
Yeah.
So, what is your verdict on that one? Do you
Uh,
think it deserves the nomination?
I think it does, yes. I think in the production value, like I said, is amazing. The cast is very, very good. And I think that there is a story there that is I feel like the 1947 version kind of makes it a lot more clear to you.
Huh.
And so it kind of I don't want to say it hand feeds you because it's an excellent version, but it's a little less vague as to what's going on than Guillermo del Toro's version. So I do think that there is something there that's very universal to the way the world is and the way things actually work and being on top of the world and bubbles bursting and things like that. It's good. It is. It's very good.
So, I suppose my question to you is in relation to the book, which you said you've read a synopsis of it.
Hmm.
Where do you think the 47 version versus the Guillermo del Toro version fall?
I think it's funny because it seems like they're like each like the 47 version pulls some really interesting bits from the book that Guillermo del Toro did not, and vice versa. So I feel like they're almost, even though they're the same movie, they're or the an adaptation of the same book, they are two completely different movies. I'm not sure that is entirely what I'm trying to say.
But I think it's a good thing you want to say.
Yeah.
If out of the same story you can pull out two completely different movie. I actually like where what you were saying about the fact that the 47 version of Nightmare Alley in comparison to Guillermo del Toro's are have a difference where you can see different elements, different portions, different bits of the book. So
Yeah.
that makes for an interesting viewing, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting too because you sometimes you'll watch a movie that is there and there's been an older version of the movie or it's like a classic and you're like this is just a flat out straight scene by scene remake. And sometimes those are fine, there's a place for those, but this one is definitely not that. I mean, there are some scenes that are similar, there are some lines that cross over, but I mean, of course you're going to have that when you have the same source material, but you can definitely say that these are two different films with I think two completely different messages almost.
Definitely. And Guillermo is an artist, to be
Yes.
honest with you. Like this guy is all into the craft and the things he does. So I'm looking forward to watching this, and I'm very glad that you did watch it. And now I know that it's not going to be a waste of my time.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I'll be interested to hear what you have to say about it. What
Yeah.
have you been watching this week?
So on my quest to the 12 Oscar nominated movies that I need to watch, I think I told you, and if I mentioned that last week, I'm sorry, but I saw Belfast, which I think is an absolutely fascinating movie. And I can see why this movie got the nomination, and I can see all of the merits that this movie has to be celebrated as such. And to be quite honest, I'm surprised that BAFTA sort of like went around this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm very glad that the Academy decided to give this movie its props. And also, Katrina Balfe is absolutely amazing in this movie. She is the spine of this movie. Jamie Dornan, yeah, man, that dude is there.
He's definitely in the movie.
You know what I'm saying? But there are three characters that I was drawn to. Is obviously Katrina Balfe as Ma, which is what they call her the entire movie, and Kieran Hydes, your guy, as
Mhm.
the grandpa, the patriarch of the family, and this little kid whose name in the movie is Buddy. This kid is amazing. This little boy is absolutely fantastic as a little actor. And every time he was on screen, you wanted to watch more and more of him. Frankly, I don't know why Judi Dench got nominated.
Wasn't she in something and she won and she was in like it turned out to be like 7 minutes of the movie or something like that? Wasn't
Yeah,
that her? I think it
the
was
was it one of the Marigold Hotel shit, like something?
something like that. Yeah, she was in they like she won and it was one of the shortest performances to have ever won an Oscar. I feel like it was 7 minutes or something. There might have even been less. I'm not sure, but
It's just amazing. Like these people just love that lady. And
I
I'm not
love
saying
Judi
she
Dench.
was bad.
Right, right,
She
right.
was the grandmother. She was the matriarch. I mean, but much like Jamie Dornan, she was there. That's
Mhm.
that's what I'm saying. But anyway, I watched this movie, and to me, this movie is a love letter to one of the most difficult periods in Northern Ireland's history. And this is a movie that has no agenda. The reason I say that is because there is a dedication at the end of this movie to everybody who went through the Civil War in Ireland. So the movie, in the end, is dedicated to those who stayed, to those who left, and to those who lost their lives.
Mm.
And that's when you realize that the story that is told in this movie is a little bit of all of that. You see those who lost their lives, and you see those who felt like I have to live. I can't, I cannot bring up a family here.
Yeah.
And you see those who decided, I'm just gonna stay and I'm gonna see this thing out. There's no bad guy in this one. It's just we all make those decisions based on the needs of our families and in how we feel about the conflict itself. So to me, that was a love letter to all of the ones who went through this difficult period of Northern Ireland. So it's a beautiful, beautiful movie, and I encourage everybody to go find this movie and watch it. Belfast is an absolutely beautiful. Watch it, watch it, watch it.